Hello. Um, so I'll begin with my vicinity map. This is the general area that we're studying, and this is downtown San Luis Obispo, Old Historic District, South Hills Open Space, and primarily we're looking at the neighborhood surrounding Meadow Park. And so my site specifically is on the western edge. This is more of the industrial part of the area, and there's a mixed use space that's going to be going in around here. And this is just some industry, and over here is primarily residential. So working with residents and this public park. This is just a satellite imagery of the space, and the zones I'm going to focus on are right here in creating a rain garden in the cul-de-sacs, and right here, improving circulation that goes throughout the park and through this mixed use space over here. Also, the main priority is just this channel right here, revitalizing it to a new and functional state. So currently this is what the channel looks like. It's very old school thinking of just get the water off the land as fast as possible. And this area does experience flooding quite a bit during the winter months, and the water could be much better utilized. So this is looking up towards the more natural creek, and then the V ditch comes through here, which is right here. So this is the primary meeting spot of these waterways. And then this is a concept sketch of what I would like to see the edge look like potentially. This was my first sketch, so it's a bit rough, but just creating more of a picnic zone, an area to hang out, accessibility down into the water, or just to hang out along the edge. Over here is a few different iterations of the edge. So to orient you in these sketches, this bridge right here relates to this bridge right here, which is also this bridge right here. So then these were just a few ideas of how I can change that concrete edge into something a little bit more playful, a little bit more recreational. And I really liked the idea of these two right here. And then it kind of evolved looking at different inspirations, primarily Barangaroo Park in Sydney, Australia, where they used sandstone cuts to create a jigsaw, a 3D jigsaw puzzle, so to speak, on the edge of their harbor. And it allowed for people to interact with the water but still maintain safe distance and have points of access that weren't just staircases. So the idea behind this one is that people can hang out on these extended terraces that in some areas, in the steeper areas, would be vegetated, but in the more protruding areas like this would just be grass or something. And it would look like this in section perspective, and it would be an area just to access the water, essentially, and would help with flooding, so that each time the water level rises, there isn't a flood because it's containing the water with the different levels. So then I wanted to add an educational sculptural element that would connect with the existing public schools. There's an elementary school a couple blocks away, and so I wanted to highlight this endangered species of the steelhead trout and speak to its unique life cycle where it begins in the creek and then makes its way down to the ocean and then back up in order to procreate. And so the cycle continues. So I thought adding some kind of cool, like maybe with the eggs, adding like glow to them or creating like some sort of visual interest within there, but also make it educational. And then the placement of that, I was thinking could be in this area. This is again the bridge to orient you to the space, the entrance to the park. I rerouted some of the circulation so that it's more functional and that there's more of a clear direction instead of a lot of like twists and turns. And so I wanted to create like a little coffee shack over here to give it more of a culture, and then have these areas where people can just hang out and experience the space, as well as the circulation node, which is more of like a roundabout for people in a way. And so there'll be bridges that link over the areas that are higher in elevation or that will have flooding. And this one would be the longest one. The circulation is also, the paths are widened in order to accommodate both biking and pedestrian safely. Over here is, this is on the most western edge, so this is that other cul-de-sac towards the top. And this one has this channel wall which backs the house of these residences. So there's a fence and then immediately there's a house right here. So I left this structural wall there for functional reasons. And then I just added some terracing right here, not really for the sake of people to hang out, but for sorry for the noise, but just to create that ebb and flow of the water to slow it down, really. It's like a buffer. Over here is just more of the connection that you can see between these two areas. I do plan to put in some swales along here so as to capture the runoff, but that'll have to be a digital thing because this is where my traces lined up. There'll be a bridge over here as well, and then so all of these water points meet right here, carries through. This is where I want most of the water to be, and then carry it through under the bridge and go return to its natural creek area. So here's a natural creek area over here existing as well as right here. These areas right here, I want to become more naturalized. So any suggestions is welcome. I'm primarily focusing on this area, but this area I do intend to have a butterfly garden to speak on the behalf of monarch butterflies and just create some cool picnicking areas and recreational zones. All right, thank you so much.